Good evening and welcome to another edition of African Americans Ain't Africans, a think show that proves without a shadow of a doubt that the so-called African American didn't find their way to America in the trunk of a ship. I'm your host, the Indigenous One. And tonight, talking to a friend of mine, and she got to telling me in all of this COVID shenanigans, a nurse that has been working since the pandemic started, she's working every day. And you know they're getting broke off, especially if they're traveling nurses. This sister was working for a year straight. I'm sure she had some days off, but I don't know. You know how a lot of times we want to get a certain item and we'll do anything to get it. So this sister worked up a year just to get herself a Bentley. Just to get herself a car. Now, sometimes we do things as people that makes no goddamn sense. None. Now, of course, there are those who are out there who say, she can do what she want to do. It's her money. She can do what she wants. Yeah, but aren't these people, aren't they showing the people up under them what to do? Aren't they influencing another people? We're going to have Lisa come on and talk to us about how they were taxing brothers back in the day to sell them items that they were bringing over in Europe. When you talk about the chiefs, you wonder why the chiefs are in the position they're in now. We're going to hear why. And why we always fall for the okie doke. I don't care if it's voting for Joe Biden, sneaking Kamala Harris through your ranks so she can be vice president. Why do we always make the wrong move? Especially when you're in the position where people are looking at you. Children are looking at you. People who are about to college are looking at the moves we make. And one of the things we like doing is feeling part of something that we're not a part of. That's the main problem going on with the African American. We want to be a part of something so bad. We'll do anything to be a part of it. But we won't look at ourselves. We won't look to ourselves. We won't look at what the world is looking at. You're the natural resource. Some people use your organs. Some people use your intellect. Some people use your brute strength. Some people use your beauty. But everybody's coming over here to get the natural resources, or why else would they be here? So why we bugging? Why we do stuff like this? Listen, I put the number to chat. I'm putting it down where you can call in and chat. And please, you want to hear your thoughts. I mean, please, none of that black stuff. Intelligent conversation where everybody in the chat learns something, including me. Because I might by no means know everything. Matter of fact, where I'm from, I'm called a dummy. So, we like to hear your thoughts. We put how you can call in the chat room. So please feel free. Joining us tonight, as always, on Friday night is the Accomack clan mother, Lisa Cypress. What's going on, Lisa?
Oh, hello, Halito, Oseo, and Kayuk, as the Accomack say. So, man, We were talking about why we're bugging, why we be bugging, and how we've been bugging for a long time, literally bugging, and how we are in the condition that we are in because we be bugging. And literally, it started out as us bugging, literally bugging. And what I mean when I say bugging, I mean like it started off with us having an obsession with material things, beginning with spinning wheels and buggies. Thomas got a two-wheel buggy. Then John had to go get a four-wheel buggy. And then Edward had to get a six-wheel buggy. Literally, there are records in which you can see people were taxed according to the number of wheels on their buggies. The number of wheels on their buggies. And we see today we are still obsessed with our vehicles, with our material things. You can imagine if Thomas and John and Edward were trying to compete about buggies, and then you getting in debt because not only did you pay a whole lot for the buggy, but then you got to pay taxes for the buggy. See, do you see how they made you, enslaved you? You see how they financially put you in bondage? Is that making sense? Because then next thing you know, what you got to do, you got to give up something. You end up losing your investment. You end up losing your money. You end up losing your land stakes because you want the buggies and all the nice finery. You got all the nice silks from China and they importing stuff and importing these threads from Europe and these pictures in your house. You think that didn't happen, y'all? You see how you are now? We don't change. We are our ancestors. The same way you are today is the way we were then. And if we want to come out of this, we have to change. We have to buggies, man. Obsession. I'm sitting up there getting listening to somebody bragging about somebody else who worked their asses off in COVID all over the damn country to buy a Bentley. A nurse practitioner brought a Bentley. That's something that somebody who just worked for her, or not really for her, but with her, is bad bragging about. And I'm like, so you feel like you all that because you know somebody who did something stupid like that? Is that where we're at right now? Young people, old people, what are we valuing? How are we seeing things? Why are we just bugging? Why are we caught up in these things that ain't giving nothing to us? What is she going to do with that Bentley if she dies tomorrow or next year or in the next 10 years? What's going to happen? What's going to happen with everything she put into buying that? What's her family going to do with that? Come on now. How many places is she going to drive that shit? I just don't understand that we have become, it's not even that we've become, it's like I said, it's in us. We like shiny damn things. We're materialistic, but that has been our downfall. That has not brought us higher, that has brought us lower. If we don't shake this daggone addiction off, we'll never be able to come together because we're always competing about these things and we're measuring each other against what we accumulate. And these things are just trash, literally. And the people that actually build these things don't buy the shit because you the sucker. They're not spending their money on dumb shit like that. You the sucker. You're the one that's supposed to buy it, not them. If you ever been around any rich people, they don't buy the shit they make. That's for you. That's for you to them to make money off of you. They don't throw their money around like that. They'll buy something that's decent and then wear that shit to death. Wear it to the threads and then and talk about resoling shoes there. They'll buy a damn one good pair of shoes and resole that shit fucking every other 6 months. They don't spend their money on dumb shit. They're not trying to buy every red bottom. They don't do that. The people that run things don't do that. Do you see daggone Gates walking around with every fly piece of thread on his body? Do you think are they spending? No, they buying your land, nigga. The same shit that was happening in the beginning is happening now. What is he doing? He's not buying daggone Nikes, the latest ones. That's what we do. We spend every last dime we got on the latest pair of Nikes, take our whole check and buy a freaking video game, daggone PlayStation. What the hell? They don't do that. That's for the suckers. That's for the suckers.
I've always said,
Polito, American Power, AP.
I always said that if you have more stuff made in China in your house than you made yourself, there's a problem. Look past no one else.
Look it past it.
Look at yourself.
You gotta look in the mirror. You gotta look in the mirror, and somehow we gotta change. And so now we got these kids that they even equate love with what you buy for them. Like that's how you show love. By how you reward them with stuff.
That don't
how
work.
How you reward them with the right extravagance and the birthday parties and all the daggone they expect nice material things. That's what we're breeding. And I cannot lie and say that I am not a party to being guilty for developing that. You know what I mean? I've done that too. You know, you don't have time and you buy your kids things. You know, it's just I don't even. We have to reverse this. We have to fix it. We've got to do it. We've got to find a way of being satisfied with a sunshine. It don't cost you nothing.
And if we
like
don't,
a beautiful horizon.
And if we don't,
if we don't, then we will be what they've been praying. Now, I mean praying. I mean like you to pray. They've been praying on us and praying for. It's for us to be extinct for real, to be gone for real, to be the disappeared Indians who died of diseases. They've been trying to cast this spell for hundreds and hundreds of years. Oh, what happened to the real Indians that was all over here? Oh, they all disappeared. They died from disease. They died of diseases. They've been trying to cast this spell for hundreds of years, and they've been trying to devise every trick in the book to get it to really happen for real, for real. But we are diehard, and we are everlasting, and it's hard to kill a people as strong as we are. But the thing that's gonna do us in is ourselves, just like what did us in that got us out of our own country, out of our own homeland, out of our own identities. It was us being distracted, us not even valuing the beauty that we have here in the beginning. And now today, all you doing is you got your face in a TV, your face in a phone, and your face in a video game. And you got the most beautiful sunsets and sunrises, and you got the most beautiful mountains, and you got the beautifulest landscapes and prairies, and you got the most beautifulest trees and the most beautifulest oceans and lakes, and you don't even care. You running over to Jamaica, and you running over to daggone Dominican, and you trying to get overseas, and you trying to do all this. You trying to go on a cruise because you don't even see the beauty that's right outside your damn door. Half of us, we go in our backyard, you see birds and shit, and black squirrels and brown squirrels and gray squirrels, because there's different kind of squirrels all over this country. Like, have y'all seen a black squirrel? Have y'all seen a black squirrel? Like, I'm just saying, you don't value what is right in your face. You want to get a Bentley. You want to get something that somebody made that's going to end up in a trash heap. You don't understand that the soil in your under your feet can enrich your body and your mind. The trees that you rub, that you dare go and don't even pay attention to, and don't dare touch, and don't dare sit under, can beam your head and your brain and your hair. It can light it up and enlighten you in ways that you're not even aware of, because you want to run from, because there are bugs on them trees. There's some bugs on. Help me, help me, help you to get yourself back in line with the nature and the nature that's in you.
You're part of
Stop.
it.
We can't blame no daggone pale skin for these values that we have. We can't. We cannot. Okay? We like the glitter and the gold and the shiny. They just brought it to the table. They knew we liked the shiny shit. They just brought the shit over. Who got obsessed with it? Who got addicted to it? Who wanted to compete with each other over it? Who wanted more and more and more? It's not, you can't blame nobody but yourself.
And see, this is one of the things that we really don't want to talk about. And I think that's why many of us are running over trying to be other, trying to be other characters in somebody else's book. You ever notice the African American community is broken down into so many different cliques that's set up as to never move with one voice, never walk in lockstep with each other. Everybody can do what they want to do, but you don't do what nature says do. You don't, where you used to follow nature, now you follow, all you do is wait for somebody to tell you what to do. And that's damn near most people.
They tell you what to like. They 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 put it on the TV, and that's, oh, I need that. I need to get some of that.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that. I need to get that. That looks good. And then you put your kids in front of the TV, and then they are raised with that thing. Oh, mom, I need that. I saw it. Come on. We are professional consumers. That's what we are bringing to the table. We were the people who made the things and had the things and grew the things that the whole world wanted. Now all we do is buy junk. They don't make nothing good,
And when
nor
we,
do they make anything good for you. The
and
food they make is toxic, and we buy all of it. It's not even food. Food is not what, it doesn't nourish you. This is not even food. It doesn't nourish you. Nothing nourishes us. But yet we can eat junk and still live. Junk in, life out. That's what we're able to do. Don't tell me you're not a god or a goddess. Who else can do that shit? Junk in, life out. How are we able to do this? Yet, just think, if you actually put life in you, what would come out of us? If we actually breathed in and ate and nourished ourselves with real life, if we actually all made a commitment to changing how we do things, how we see things, if we all at least just try, if we just even try to not be influenced by this whole thing. See, this is the thing, y'all. This is what y'all not thinking about. Y'all, if anybody knows anything, because baby, my daddy loved cars. We like shit. That's what we are like. We like nice things. I know this. I'm not saying I'm not like this. The other day I rode in a freaking, what was it? It wasn't it wasn't all that, but but I liked the way the vehicle felt. I was telling Carrie about it. I liked the way that damn what was a Volkswagen SUV. It wasn't it wasn't all high. Well, they're expensive, but I'm saying it's not ridiculous. But even still, I liked it. I liked the way it rode. I liked how it looked on the inside. And I was like, But see, that's the way we are. But we cannot let that move and motivate us. That cannot be our motivation. It's
It
stupid.
is.
It's junk. And it is our motivation. And
It
we
is.
use it to control us, to manipulate us, and it takes away do you know how many things we could do as a people if all of us didn't act like this? Every time everybody gets a football contract, gets a daggone role on a television show, gets a daggone, space on some kind of, a movie or something, the first thing they doing is buying a bunch of dumb shit for themselves. Do
Well,
you know how much we could change as people if we actually sow into each other in a real way? We got churches that don't do a damn thing for nobody, but yet we still throw our money at them.
no, we
We got
don't.
all these organizations. These they're going, oh, it's a sorority fraternity. We do things for the community. You don't do shit. You give a $500 scholarship to a fucking nursing student or this daggone student here or there. You give daggone 500. You don't give shit. Y'all spend more money on your fucking outfits than you do on raising money for anybody for scholarships. You spend more money on the stuff you did to get ready for the events that you're throwing. Come on, let's be honest. It's ridiculous how we are doing things, how we are moving in this world. We can't afford to be doing the same thing and think we're going to get new results. We can't afford this. We have to think like a team. We have to think like a family. We have to think like a nation that cares about each other. Because don't nobody care about you. And hoarding it and being greedy and selfish ain't helping you either.
Well, Lisa, let's just give an example of how when you say we have to work together to make something happen. Could you give a little example of where you see let's say a village of about 500 people? What would those 500 people? How would that village function like a clock?
Well, I mean, you have everybody has to contribute. If you really want to make things change, everybody have to first of all trust each other. The first thing we got to do, the first very damn thing is to start trusting one another, believing in each other, supporting each other. Because we can't, because all this, who does she think she is? Who does he think? I don't know. I want to be, I feel like, you know what I mean? You got to be coming humble. Everybody got to come in humble, leave their fucking egos to the side and work together. Understand that your ego ain't more important than the greater good. That's the first thing. That's the first way. And we have to include people. Understand everybody ain't perfect and neither are you. And we have to let the people do what they are best at doing. Encourage people in what they're best in doing. And everybody has a gift. Everybody has something to contribute. You might be good at picking out clothes. You may be able to have a little thrift store or something, a little bit of something. You can maybe able to make clothes, make shoes. You may have a skill with a needle and leather and stuff and thread and you know that you didn't know about. Somebody else might be good with drawing things, and they may be able to take that and decorate and paint people's houses and fix things up and help design the material. Or if we're weaving daggone cotton or making leathers, put designs on that. Somebody else may be good at daggone growing food, and then they're able to daggone farm. And somebody else may be good at running equipment, and they're helpful at making the equipment and taking care of the equipment that we need to run these things. Somebody else might be good at daggone just organizing things and getting our paperwork together and getting ourselves organized so everybody gets to share things properly and just divide it out properly, and they know how to do things strategically. Everybody has a gift. Some people just may be good at just um you know making sure everybody's fed, or making sure everybody is knowledgeable, updating, informing. I mean, everybody has something they're good at. Some people are good at security. They look out, they're always alert, they're always thinking about something's going to happen, or they're always on the lookout on things, and they're always being very strategic about things. I mean, we all have something that we can bring to the table. The whole thing is to actually value what we already got and bring that stuff together. And what we don't know, we can learn.
Oh,
What
what?
we don't learn, what we don't learn, we can figure out. We can do something else. We can make up something. We can invent. We're very inventive.
Have you ever heard of some houses called earthships?
Yeah, I know about Earth. I know about Earthships. I mean, we could do that, but we could make up our own thing. It
Right,
don't
right,
have
right.
to be Earthships.
Right.
It
That's what.
don't have to be anything that anybody's ever heard of or seen before.
Right. That's what I was getting to.
Right. We can actually start our own stuff that's based on something that's in somebody's head, that's sitting up there at their house right now thinking, well, I'm designed, this is my cool idea. I feel like we could use daggone, plastic bottles and stuff. Or I got a plastic bottle house. It's made of daggone Coke bottles, two
Right.
liter Coke bottles.
Right.
It's light, it's portable, it's well insulated. I mean, come on now.
Right.
People, I mean, we can do anything.
Right.
We
But
got people talking about making daggone the first well powered what is it, windmills. My sister was talking about getting windmills and stuff like that. Where they're gonna have one of the biggest wind powered installations in Virginia coming up. I guess they're working on. I just saw a news article about it. But then you talk about wind. Well, Virginia's not the windiest place, but one thing it is it's got a whole lot of water. At least where I'm from, where my people are from, and water energy is a whole untapped area.
right.
Wave energy. The waves are gonna roll. That's energy that you can count on. It's just in nature. I mean, there's lots of things you can be doing. It's countless things you could be making, countless things you could be building, countless ways you could be building. It's it's only as limited as your imagination. But if you're so busy wanting what everybody else got and what they got to sell you, and letting them tell you what you want instead of you imagining what you want, creating what you should have, creating what others should have, then you'll never will, because you're letting everybody put their ideas in your mind. You're letting them tell you what you need instead of you creating what you need.
It's that simple. It's just that simple. Imagine what you need. I mean, we don't think the clothes with all this artificial fabric, that's not doing nothing to us. We don't think all this artificial stuff we wear, and we're natural people. You don't think us wrapping ourselves up in all this stuff, it's not doing any damage to us.
What are they feeding y'all? What are they feeding us? Like, what were you saying? We were talking about how many restaurants. Tell them what you was talking about.
Take the city that you're in, whatever city it is. How many restaurants are in that city? If you're in a huge city like New York, Houston, Chicago, Los Angeles, San Francisco, how many restaurants do those places have? I'm talking about hamburger spots, the places that's hooked up next to a gas station, food trucks. Everybody's into food. Where do you think all this food is coming from? Is it that many cows? Is it that many chickens for all these wings? And half the damn restaurants are wing spots. Do we ever stop and think, where's all this shit coming from? Are there chickens walking around here with 10 wings on them? Gotta be. Where's all this food coming from, y'all? And if you go back, and this is why I say this is why reading is, I'm a stickler for reading, because if even if you don't read a whole book, if you get something out of it to make you look at the way you're thinking, that's process. That's progress. That's all reading is to do. Check your thinking. And many of us, we don't really want to do it. My head hurt. I can't think. The game was on. Housewives was coming on. We don't even we'll even upgrade our own thinking and try to make it better. We hear something we don't like, we just frown our nose up and just act like a little bitch. The people who tell the truth are the ones who are being vindicated right now. Brothers told y'all, leave that Biden cat alone. He didn't want to listen. See, the African American don't listen. And no, you can do what you want to do. But there's people out there who's telling you what's coming down. They can see 5-10 years down the road. A lot of people can. And information is given to us. We ignore it. We arrogant about it too. Now you got all these Negroes who is on that Democratic stuff. And you can't see what you guys have done. Gonna try to be quiet. Gonna try to keep their mouth shut. You see what you've caused? So what I'm saying is all this stuff that's happening is like Lisa said earlier. We can't open our mouth and bitch about nothing because we ain't on it. See, we like to talk about how in slavery, this was going on in slavery, but during slavery, weren't the Buffalo Soldiers in slavery time? Huh? I mean, how are you slaves if you got brothers fighting for somebody that got you enslaved? Explain. See, we don't want to talk about that. We don't want to talk about that. Shh, be very quiet. The real stuff we don't want to talk about. What we do. See, people only do what you let them do. And I doubt any of these people over here, Dutch, Irish, Greek, I doubt if any of those people would allow you to come to their country and you do what they do in your country, and you won't even say nothing about it. You won't even bring it up. You would try to change the subject. You would try to be them. And you wonder why we losing? You wonder what you teaching your kids? The 25-year-old girls that's walking around with weaves and shit in their hair, they got that from mama. She got that from her mama. Huh? We can't even do nothing with our own hair. You're in you on your home field. You have home field advantage. You have home field advantage. And all of these foreigners coming over here, and you have nothing to offer them. You have nothing they could trade with. You hearing, brother, you hearing the little places in Georgia and Alabama, Mississippi, where these foreigners coming over, getting those old places where your great grandmom and your great grandfather from, taking your land, just getting your land, and you cool with it. So I'm going to get me an apartment in the city, cuz. Ain't that what African American do? So this is about to get real nasty. You're gonna see a lot of Negroes sitting on the corner crying because they thought that this wasn't theirs. See, that's why a lot of the immigrants can come over, because they know you don't even know this your home. They know this. They know half of you are you into other people's culture. You ain't in your while they're in other people's culture. Let's go get theirs and do it right in front of your face. So we be bugging because we want any trinket. And most people, if you go in their garages, in their attics, basements, whatever, they got all they have is junk they have bought from other people. 10 out of 10 Negroes, that's what they do. They buy everything they have from other people. And will keep buying their stuff. This is what African American is. This is how the African American is.
We will gladly give our money away. Gladly. Proud of it. Proud of it. Wear it like it's a badge of honor. How much we sacrificed, how much we worked, how much overtime we did to get this thing that nobody else is trying to kill themselves for except us. We'll kill ourselves for it. We'll kill somebody else for it. Somebody will kill you to try to take it from you when you trying around sporting it.
It sounds like you're rewriting that song. For the love of money, people run.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And that's
That's
what I mean. We're not evolving. We're not moving up. We're just going in a circle. We're in the same spot.
same spot. Same spot. You're not willing to change it either. Not willing to change it at all. Just staying stagnant and worse. Now you ain't even got no sense of fucking self-control. Now you ain't got no sense of daggone indignation. Now you don't want to fight nobody about nothing. You just want them to tell you what to do and then you get in line. You just get in line. Like you don't have a mind at all. That's where we're at now. Not only can they tell you what you should want and then you go out and do anything you can to get it, but when they tell you what you should take, you go ahead and say, okay, right here, pound it in me. They tell you what to eat, you daggone standing in line trying to eat a daggone chicken sandwich like it's fucking crack. What was that shit about? What the hell was that shit about, y'all? Like, seriously, what was that? Why did people go crazy over a chicken damn sandwich? Can you tell me why I haven't eaten it to this day? Because I was like, that there's something fucking wrong with people. What the hell's in that sandwich? What is in it?
You know what? This has nothing to do with the chicken sandwich. But check this out. This is seriously. Notice how the African American, notice how they walk when they have a bag in their hand. If they have a bag or a cup, notice the change in their demeanor. And I think that harkens back to what you were talking about. We just don't feel important without a shake in our hand. We don't feel important without a bag that says Walmart across it. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
We got to have something that makes us feel like we're somebody.
Mhm.
That's
Yeah,
what
we do.
I mean, that's what I'm noticing. To what we wear, everything we wear. I'm like, you're in a suit. You don't have a national suit that you make for yourself. Don't Chinese and Japanese have clothes that they make for themselves? Their clothes, their traditional clothing. Don't Africans have their traditional clothing? What happened to yours? How come you're not on that no more? That we just buy the cheapest stuff we can find. So if China has 1 billion people, how many seamstresses do you think they can conjure up to make stuff for you?
Who makes everything pop? Who makes everything popular? It's us. If we don't buy it, sport it, give our own swag to it, it goes nowhere. These people be walking around looking like a little house on the prairie if it wasn't for y'all. You create all this daggone energy for these daggone material things that have no fucking value. But you can't do that for yourself. You're not able to do that for yourself. You know why? Because you know what you do, Negro people. When we make it, you like, well, he think he's something. He think he doing something. That ain't nothing. I could make that. My cousin could make that. We got a low key hate, and it's not even low key. We call it low key. It's high level hate. We have to high level hate each other. And that's why we don't get anywhere. Brother creates some shit, is really fly. We don't like it. We're gonna go get some Tommy Hilfiger. That ain't shit. I'm gonna go get my money to Tommy, who is a redneck and a fucking white supremacist and hates my ass. That's where I'm spending my money. I'm gonna spend 10 times as much as this brother over here is charging for his stuff because it's gotta be worth it.
Whatever happened to that brother Carl Kanai? Whatever happened to that clothing line?
Mm-hmm. What did happen to it? Is he still alive?
I just it was seemed like it was a fad, but like remember that cross colors line?
Yeah, I
But
don't really know about that.
but anyway, we have a caller that just came in.
Oh,
Mr.
cool.
Michael Hampton, what's going on, homie?
What up, brother? And this
What's
your
up, man?
boy,
How you
and
doing?
Miss Lisa acting
Yes. Hello. Welcome.
like I'm just chiming in now. I saw the title of your discussion, and I heard a few words, so I'm gonna listen to get my input to know what's really going on. I heard some of the things you all said, but I'm still
No,
listening.
so no, we're just basically talking about how we do ourselves in, mainly because we're trying to be other people. We're trying to be other things. We support other people. And like we said earlier, most of us have things in our house that are produced by other people.
Of course.
And they don't have nothing in their homes produced by us. Now, normally what we get from that is an argument. Well, look, you don't tell me I can do what I want. I can do that. Look, all
And
that.
fists balled up too. They balled up their fists on you with
Yeah. But it's never, I mean, but it's really to get, thinking about what's your part in the world, what part you play in the world. And when you have people come from other places, imagine if all the Negroes in New York converged in China and tried to put their culture over in China?
Not going to happen.
It's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen. But you said imagine. I can imagine it's not going to happen.
Mm-hmm. It's
Because
not gonna
nigga,
happen.
I don't mean to be derogatory speaking, but nigga, it's not going to happen. Only in the USA, people get away with what you just said. Get away with.
Yeah. We don't mind anybody. We cool. And you know what I think a big part of that was? Because remember, in this matrix, we're just programmed big time. You want to know who did a whole bunch of damage to the psyche of the Negro? That
Tell
Mike,
me.
that
I have
Mike,
an idea. Go ahead. Tell me.
that Michael Jackson.
Don't talk about my boy, brother.
No, man. No. I'm serious.
I know you are.
Look,
I know you are, but you're gonna go in and let me listen.
no. I mean, but I'm saying this is the stuff I'm saying we don't want to talk about, and it keeps on festering till it gets to later.
No, I don't really think Michael Jackson did a lot to the psyche against black people. I think Bill Cosby did. I think Bill Cosby. First of all, I think Bill Cosby did. Now I know people think, "Oh, Bill Cosby showed us in a nice light." Okay, that's fine. He showed a, educated family, trying to raise their kids with some kind of daggone, sense and all that. But Bill Cosby was also set up to be the overseer, where he would say things about what the Negro, the black people should do. He would do that all the time. He would make these public proclamations and criticisms about us like we were all together, you know, as if he wasn't as daggone European or whatever the hell he is. So the thing about it, I mean, to me, it was that kind of stuff. Oprah Winfrey building a school in Africa and talking about black people only want to wear Nikes. They don't want an education. Stuff like that. That kind of stuff. Those were the worst damaging things in my mind that was done against us. When you start acting like when you start criticizing the Negro people publicly and acting like what we should do, that kind of stuff, and act like, oh yeah, like everybody should be concerned about how jacked up we are. That was really damaging. That stuff is really, really damaging. Michael Jackson bleaching his skin because his daddy said he wasn't as cute as the Silvers or cute as daggone Prince. That's just not even. That's just that ain't really. That didn't do nothing. No, that his behavior in no way really had any impact on us except to make us dance. I feel like I don't even see how he had
Well,
any
I
kind of.
think it's a different story. It's a different story. When you go back to what you just said, Lisa, with the Bill Cosby era and how he spoke, this is a personal thing, and I don't mind anybody knowing. I'll tell you, in the 90s, yeah, I was on crack. Yes, I was. And Bill Cosby came on Channel 11 here in Chicago, PBS, and he made a statement. Oh, he's on stage. He's ready to fight someone in the audience. His own son was on drugs, crack, or whichever. I love Bill Cosby from Fat Albert days to whatever. But my mind was totally, I won't say totally, but I was insulted by him. Though he was right.
Yeah.
But I wasn't taking it that way. I was through it with him.
But
It's hard to get
but
some
guess
truth has
what?
no.
But guess
What?
what? Bill Cosby knew they manufactured, advertised, and put the crack in our neighborhood. First of all, that whole thing with daggone our greatest comedian, so-called, Richard Pryor, who really didn't write his own jokes. What kind of fucking agent was he? Okay. Anyway, Richard Pryor was put out there with his fucking crack burning and all that kind of shit to make us interested in what he wanted so badly that he got burnt up trying to daggone get some. Okay. That was advertising. You may not think it, but that was advertising. Okay.
But I'm saying, aren't all of those cats, everybody they put in front of us, all of them, aren't they put there for a purpose?
Of
And,
course.
and I'm saying the purpose of Michael Jackson is, I mean, seriously, is it's like a kind of integration thing. I mean, because listen, this, I mean, if you think
Okay, okay,
that,
hold on.
if you,
Let me. This guy's this. I don't know. You put this thing up with this dude talking about, do you help? Okay, look. Now y'all understand that what I am doing and trying to do, not what I'm gonna say. I'm trying to. What I am doing with my Accomack people on the Eastern Shore is unprecedented. I mean, I don't know how anybody thinks I have the energy, the mindset to be able to do anything but what the fuck I'm doing right now. Okay. I'm not trying to be rude, but you have to understand this shit is fucking hard. If it wasn't hard, yeah, everybody would be doing the shit. I have a lot of people. You understand how many people are messaging me? I'm an acrobat, and I want that because I'm not doing this to be selfish. I'm doing this to find the thousands of acromats that are out there that don't know it, that need to get with this. But how can you know? I don't understand. Do you not understand how this is? This is very big. This is just a lot. And just because I'm not jumping to everybody's attention, I guess everybody thinks they're so important, but just because I'm not jumping to your attention doesn't mean I don't help others. I help people all the fucking time. People are asking me shit all the fucking time. They're reaching out to me. People are inquiring. People want to fuck. But you know what? If you don't do the thing that you must do, I can't help you with. You have to get to know your family. What am I supposed to help you with? I tell people what to do. If you're not willing to do the work, don't bother me. Don't fucking bother me. You have work to do.
And I
The
also see
first
the
thing you
question
have
that
to
was
do is you have to do your research. You have to do your research.
I
You
see
have
the
to figure
question
out your
posted.
family.
Great
Hush,
great
hush, hush, hush,
grand
hush, hush,
tongues
hush,
rising.
hush. Let me talk.
Go
You
ahead.
have to do your research. You have to figure out who you are. You have to figure out who else is involved with your people. You got to figure out where your people actually originate from and how they are, what Indians they actually are. Not some damn umbrella terminology, fucking Cherokee this, a Creek that. Find out exactly the name of your people from the actual county, the actual place you're from. Then what? You got that's I mean, that's a lot right there. And then once you do that, you got to figure reach out to people. You got to teach people, you got to talk to your family, you got to talk to your relatives, you got to organize yourself, you got to get to everybody, the dad going change their identity, you got to get there going damn enrollment situation where people can actually have an application to enroll. Then you got to then you can start digging in and see what was done to y'all and what land you might still be able to daggone claim if you know that is your situation. So I don't understand this. What else can I do but tell you that this is what has to happen? I cannot hold you in my arms and cradle you and spoon feed you every step of the way. You have work to do. I've been talking about this. I'm not a secretive person. It's not a secret, but you have to be at the point that you're doing this stuff. And if you're not at that point, then you're not at the point of conversation right now. You're at the point of investigation. You got investigations to do. And you got conversations to have with your people. And you got to ask about names. You got to talk to your old folks and your old aunties. And you got to get information so you know what to look for, who to look for, what names to look for. You got to do all that. I don't want people doing fake things out here in the world. I don't want people getting together with all these fraudulent ass people. No, I don't want that. I don't. I want
But
people
that's
to
called
really, really,
genealogy. And I'm lazy
yeah. People need
to
to work
talk to
on
my
their
own people.
genealogy. Exactly.
It's not
People,
easy.
it's
But
not
my
easy.
own people are just as ignorant as I pretend to be. I'm asking For those who I see the question, sorry, my question is, do you help others? And you just explained it. So I'm speaking for those who are lazy enough not to ask their own people to get a gathering what you just said. Miss great grand something like that, rising. Your question have been answered. Don't be lazy. Talk to your people. As Lisa just said, try it. Don't just ask for $5 and I'll pay you later. Hey, where we from? You get a good answer. I have no idea. Damn, you as dumb as I am. Let me try the next relative. God dog, try it.
What more was he looking for? What more is he looking for that he said? I don't understand what people. What are you looking for? See, that's the thing. People think, I guess there's some kind of magic in a bottle or something that you're not being told. What are you looking for? I don't know what people are looking for, but I think people are looking for you to tell them, oh, it's easy. This is the magic word. Alakazam. I don't know. I don't know what the world this is what people are looking for that they feel like they're not. I thought you had more. What more is it? Do you understand that all I did was do my genealogy? That's all I did. And then I actually was like putting together the mystery of who we are. And then after I put together the mystery, I was like, let me tell everybody. And I looked like a crazy person, calling up cousins I hadn't talked to from years, aunties, cousins, whoever, who I haven't talked to in I don't know how long, about something that they thought sounded crazy. This stuff ain't easy. Do you know how many conversations I had to have over and over again? And then I had to do all the work. Oh, you got to do all the research. You got to do all the daggone running up and down the street. You got to daggone do all the daggone, research and find this, and then find a place to stay, and then find a place to daggone organize yourself, and then find a way to organize yourself. You got to figure it out yourself. Wasn't nobody trying to give me a whole lot of information. Shit, I got people that came to the summit, didn't told me a damn motherfucking thing. So I mean, I don't know what is he talking about?
I think he was just trying to find, it's like you said, all this information, you've been saying it since I've known you. And a lot of this stuff is right in front of your face. Just go to your family. Go to your family before they start opening up this industrial age, especially in the South. Where did those people come into these cities to work from? Go to those places.
Your family's not going to help you. Do you think, do you think your family's going to, they want to help a little bit. I got maybe I got literally 2 people who will help me a little bit. Now that they see me making moves, they see like, oh, there's a possibility this heifer ain't crazy. There's a possibility she might do something and win. Now I can get somebody maybe to, mail me something, look up something for me. That's the extent of the help. It's not you're not going to get no help. So if you think that you're going to get help from your family because you're doing this, you're not. You're going to do it all by yourself. And as soon as you start to win, they're going to come running towards you with their hands out. And you're going to have strangers coming to you with their hands out and wanting you to immediately be receptive and have time for them. That's what's happening. And that's the reality. Just like you expect me to be doing stuff for you. You ain't even a hackamack. You want me to drop everything and do things for you. Then you think I ain't shit if I don't do that. That's the way people really are. If you don't have no time for me, bitch, you ain't shit. What? Do you understand what? You have no fucking concept of how busy I am. That's the way people see. They only see themselves. We're selfish. We don't even want to look at anything from any other perspective than our own. Me, but I need help. Yeah, everybody wants help. I wanted help. I needed help. Let me be very frank with you. Like I said, I've been doing a summit in Virginia for 3 years. I have some hard hitters in the indigenous world that have been going to it. Do you think any of them, including Carrie? I love you, Carrie, but ain't nobody fucking gave me no information to make me win. That's a fact. That's a fact. I'm just saying, you cannot expect that daggone people got information that's going to help you win. That's not how it works. It's just not. I wish I could tell you it was different, but it's not different. I mean, anybody who is very legit, I'm going to help. If you are doing the right thing and the right way for your people and you've put in work, trust and believe that down the road, you contact me with some real shit done, I'll be there. I'll have your back. But I can't be getting involved with all these Bonnie and Clyde weird people that are just, dreaming a dream and just want to get information and then they pass it on to some other phony ass motherfucker. I've had that happen. I share information and I share my paperwork to people, and people who have friggin' fraudulent intentions and weird kind of ideologies where they think that they're mystically, spiritually indigenous, or they think they're indigenous because they're connected to some ancient ancestors, are using that to try to organize themselves into some kind of people. And that's some bullshit. And I'm mad about it, because that's not how I intended my information to be utilized. I intended it to be utilized by real people doing real things, not fake people who are too lazy to do the real research and gather their own true families. And the families that are from the communities around them, because it ain't just your family, it's the neighbors, it's all those people. Those are the Indians, the people that lived around your people, that's in the censuses with your people for decades and hundreds of years. Those are the people. If you're not doing real stuff like that, and no, and I'm sadly I can't find nobody is. Every time I start unveiling them, I find that they're doing some shady stuff, and it's very, very disheartening. But yet you have to keep on going. Yeah, your family's the hardest people to get help from. They are. They're not going to help you. But what you have to do
But
is
Lisa, the
persevere.
argument is we're in school and forced to go there, and we've learned, speak for myself, I'm 56 years old. I was taught in fourth grade. I brought this to my own daughter, who's a school teacher, but is not a historian teacher. She does a little mathematics or whatever she does. I try to get involved with her, but she ain't getting it. But what I was taught, we were brought here swinging in trees like monkeys. I'm going back to the early 70s. How do you defer from what the school knows it all? You got professors, and since the 80s, so-called black people got on the same gravy chain that, hey, look, man, it all started right there. Now all of a sudden, here us in the late or early 2000s trying to tell people in the Americas, brown-skinned people, this is our land. You know we weren't taught that. The white man knows it all. How can you explain what you're saying? We came from Africa. It started right there. The monkey. I mean, primate or hominid, whatever they call, whatever they dug up and said, hey, you just don't want to be African, do you? That's the argument I get. Explain it.
Well, I mean, the reality is this, that help comes in various ways, right? It don't always come the way you want it, and it don't always come the way you expect it. It's gonna come in various forms. And although I would have loved somebody to be like, Lisa, This person can do this. This is that. Lisa, this is what you got to do to get your affidavits done. Didn't nobody do that for me. Nobody. Did anybody? Oh, this is how you got to organize yourself. This is what you need today. Going to do. This is how you need to do your enrollment forms. Didn't nobody lay that stuff out for me. However, what did happen is that I met this person, Michael, that's on right now talking to y'all, and he was interested enough to introduce me to Carrie, and Carrie was interested enough to actually attend my summit and introduce me to other indigenous, because I didn't even follow YouTube or Facebook or any indigenous shit. This is not my life. I am just a person, a woman who does genealogy, who was studying my family, and when I realized what I realized, I needed to get to work immediately. And when I started to do a little looking, I realized there were other people that knew about this as well. To this day, I really, there's very few people whose videos I have really watched. Okay, because I'm too busy doing stuff. To be quite honest, I've been working constantly. But what these guys and Tasha She and Gabriel Reg and Anu Thunder and Rick Moon, what these people gave to me was this is the thing. When you organize yourself like this, you have to resurrect a people. I had to resurrect a whole nation. But what these people did for me was to resurrect the Acamax. Kerry puts me on his thing every Friday. He's resurrecting my ancestors because now you know the name. Mike, he's the one who introduced me to Kerry. You know about the Acamax because of him. Because if I wasn't able to create an energy and an image and a persona for a people that were destroyed and called dead, you wouldn't know about any Acamax. And without these guys, it wouldn't have happened. Your help is going to come in very different ways. Not maybe what you want, but it's going to come. But you have to be discerning enough to recognize when people are delivering you a blessing or a gift, whatever you want to call it, when you see it. You got to learn to appreciate things in the form in which they come. And when they showed up to the summit, all these people who didn't know me from Adam, I don't got no damn YouTube following. They don't know my ass. When they showed up in the middle of Boodunk country in going Virginia to this chick that they don't even know to support her people who they never heard of, that is powerful. And that is a gift, which I thank you both, you guys, really. Y'all, I appreciate you so much. You don't understand. And my family thought that was stupid. Why are you doing this summit? Why you got these people? Why are you doing? Because I had to resurrect a whole people. I had to create information in the stratosphere that didn't exist. Now, when you Google them, you see shit. You didn't see shit like 3 years ago. Now you Google, you see shit. If you do Northampton now, you see my ass. That's the kind of shit they help do. People that don't like each other has helped us do this. I got indigenous people that hate each other, but they helped us make moves in ways, like I said, that may not seem like nothing to you. May not seem, if you don't know better, you may not know better. You might not know when help is help. And sometimes we have to recognize when help is help. Sometimes help is not helping. Because sometimes when they don't, what if somebody had just given everything, laid it all out to me? You think that would have been helpful to me? Do you think the struggle hasn't helped me keep going, keep fighting? The struggle builds you. You can't win without struggle. You without fight, without daggone bumping into walls and getting beat up and getting cut, being discouraged and feeling crazy and having your family think, what the hell's wrong with her? What is she doing? They don't understand what you're doing. They think you have lost it. You have to sacrifice. You have to. This is not something that somebody's going to hand to you. This is bigger than that. And nobody else can daggone do this because you have to get in touch with your people. And your people have to move through you because you are your ancestors. And then you have to understand that what you also have to do is navigate all the daggone detours, because you have to understand the goal is not to end up like they did again. So no bug out. Don't look for the bright buggies. Don't get distracted by all these things. Don't get competitive. Don't get angry. Don't start being selfish. We got to stop being the people that got us in trouble.
Let
Stop
me ask a
bugging.
question, Indigenous One and Lisa. Let me ask you all. This is what I've gotten lately. People have texted me, okay, if we're so-called Indians or Aborigines to America, how does that help me? I asked them back, how does African American help them? I don't get a decent response. So I'm asking you two, the two of you all, how does that help? Okay, I'm indigenous to this land. What is that doing for me? That's the question. If I admit and I gravitate, okay, I'm Choctaw, I'm Cherokee, Chickasaw, all this mess, what is it going to do for me?
Man, it's not
I
gonna
never
do
get
a
a clear
damn
answer
thing for
back.
you. You know what? It's not, Michael. It's not gonna do a damn thing for you if you're not doing anything for it. It's not doing any,
Thank
and
you.
that's what people are. People are in limbo because they don't want to do the work that is required to move to that next level. It's not going to do nothing to you doing that because you're Choctaw, and all these things are very blanket terms. They're very broad terms. You coming from a particular town in Mississippi or Alabama or daggone, Louisiana or Georgia or Florida, wherever you come from, a particular area. Your people come from an area, and that area, if you go back far enough, you know that these people are Indians. They have a very distinctive name, and it ain't just Choctaw or Creek or Cherokee. They have their own name, and it's recorded because white folks recorded that shit. If you're not digging deeper to figure out exactly who you are, you ain't got to be no damn Pamunkey or a fucking damn Cherokee. You got actual names because we all live in particular places.
But they're saying it doesn't matter. I'm still
Who's saying that?
classified by the
Who? No,
police
no,
as
no,
a Negro.
no.
You
Who's
know I want to
saying
use
that?
that term, the Nigger. I'm still a Negro.
No, no, you're not.
How
No,
does it
you're not.
help? I know that, but I want you to express what difference does it make? Aren't you
Okay,
comfortable
okay,
being a
okay, okay,
Negro?
okay, okay, okay. Michael, we're gonna break this right the fuck down right now.
Do it.
Okay,
Do it,
what
sister.
difference does it make? Okay, let me tell you the difference that it makes. It doesn't make any difference if you just call yourself a Choctaw, a Creek, or a Cherokee, because right, it gives you fucking nothing,
Or African
right?
American. Okay,
It
I'm
doesn't
listening.
matter if you what it doesn't give you anything. You know what gives you something? It gives you you get something when you dig deeper. When you dig deeper and reclaim your real identity as far as this is the county my people came from, the land my people came from, and the Indian name that they actually had. Because then you're dealing with real specific genealogy and a real specific tribe that had a history, not some broad shit. And when you actually are resurrecting, like I am resurrecting a people, when you resurrect a people, you actually can claim those those American Indian rights and status that your people had. You can't do that by calling yourself a generic Cherokee, Choctaw, or whatever, a Creek. You can't do that. You just you mailing it in. That's not gonna get you nothing. But you can sit there and talk about it, but you ain't gonna be doing nothing with it. But guess what? When they actually know your people are from this county, this land, this actual homeland, when they know the history of these Indians and who these surnames, you actually attach the surnames to the land, to the people, to the county, to the name, to the historical name of these people on record, the real name, then you can do things like actually people know you're Accomack Indian. It's not even a question. When you put your affidavits out into the daggone stratosphere, oh, they know. When you put your daggone when you show your daggone ID card, oh yeah, they know. They already know, but if you don't know, what's that gonna? That's doing nothing for you, because you calling yourself Choctaw. You might as well call yourself African American. If you're gonna use some of these generic ass fucking terms, I'm gonna tell y'all for real. You might as well call yourself African American. It ain't gonna do shit for you.
You're
And
right.
that's the damn truth.
Thank you. I just want to hear you say it, and one of
It's
you
not
all
gonna
say
do a
it.
motherfucking thing. because guess what? When we said we're Accomack Indian, that's when things got real. We're not calling ourselves Cherokee, and our ancestors called themselves Cherokee. Our grandmamas said Cherokee, but Cherokee's an umbrella term. Once you dig down, you find out that's just what they were calling them, because that's what the white man was calling them. It's an umbrella term.
Yes.
And
Yes.
then they was calling themselves. Then they called us Ginga skin. That was derogatory for that was nigger skins. Then you got to go back further than that, and then you find out that the nigger skins had their name changed by the white man. They were Accomack. And then when you start speaking your real name, then magic starts happening. That's when the magic happens, because that's when you can go to the courtroom, and when your cousin gets caught up in a charge, and she's saying she's not even a cousin. This person is somebody who is an Accomack, because everybody who's an Accomack ain't your fucking kin. They are your kin. They ain't your blood relatives. They're your kin. They're your people. They're from the Accomack lineage, but they may not be your blood kin because it's a lot of people, right? So she's an Accomack, and she calls me because she's gotten into a bind legally, criminally. You can't do shit if you're fucking a Choctaw or a Creek with your indigenous identity in this situation. But when you actually are attached to the land and to the history, and you actually are a real people with real genealogy, knowing who you are, and then you say, as an Indian, y'all don't have a right to do this to me. I'm an Accomack. As an Indian, we self-protect, we self-govern. That's when you can see things changing. But you're not going to see it being some generic thing that don't nobody understand, respect, or identify with. And your ancestors don't know who you're talking about either. They're like, why are you calling yourself a Choctaw? We are Jickabook. We're Catawbas. We're just whatever name, Catwas. They have their own name. You calling them by something they don't even recognize. Until you get down with it, you're not going to be able to do nothing with it.
And to piggyback on what Lisa's saying is that all people have a place on the planet. All people have a place on the planet. And like she said, you just got to find yours. And it's not in these generic, these big old terms that they use to cover 2 and 3 states. These people had names. And if you go back to some of the places, some of the cities, some of the little villages they're in, those names are still there.
And you're right, because I'm going on what my grandmother told me. I know a lot of people are Pan-Africanists, Say, oh, your grandmother. Oh man, you gonna talk about my grandmother? She didn't know what she's talking about. She born 1903 before the internet was thought about. Before John Henry Clark was born, the woman knew who she was. I didn't quite give a damn. I'm a child. She raised me from 6 months when my mother didn't do her duty. I love my mother, but that ain't the point. The point is, grandma, her sons, my father is the youngest of 10 children. On his own doing his thing. But grandma, I was around 6, 7 years old, and she got someone to talk to. I didn't give a damn about this. I watched the old Western movies. I seen some Western movie with some dark ones up in there, but they still had straight hair. It didn't quite fit into what she was saying. I'm a child. Children hear you and don't forget many things you told them. So she said the word, I understand. It's a generic term for a newly, you know, government thing. But she said what her grandmother was, not a mother, because her mother died at her birth. How it went down, I forgot. So that stayed with me for the longest until I got grown. I didn't give a damn in my 20s. That's going into the 80s. Hey, man, I'm doing my thing. I got a family, I have to do my thing. But it still laid on me. And when I got to YouTube, I think about 2013 or 14, I ran across 1,000 Go Ahead. I ran across Carrie. Well, I always was in the conscious community to try to start shit because I could do that. I like that. I like to debate. Sometimes you find out a lot of things thinking you're so smart, and you learn some things rather than just asking someone this and that. But so much confirmation came into play with my grandmother. I'll say my own girl, because she adopted me. Because she knew that one day mama would come back and want a child. That was over with. That's another story. Point is, I never asked her for that. I don't know what made her feel the reasons to say, hey, her grandmother, I don't, why is this woman talking this way to me? Then I caught her ass herself one day with her arms folded, acting like a goddamn Indian that we seen on television, rocking back and forth. Mama, you act like an Indian. Maybe that's what I am. So look, man, and woman, I don't have no reason. If I'm from Africa, good. Africa haven't benefited me nothing on this earth since I've been here in this 57 years. It has not benefited me. So I'm going to say this to those that are listening. It has not benefited me, and it will not benefit me. As Carrie said earlier, they running their asses over here. If that's the motherland, why you run over here to this subland? Why? They'll give you a good reason. Most of us Negroes here in America really don't want to hear it. We're scared to fight for what's ours. That's the way I take it and took it. You're scared to fight. And I'm not going to put it down that we've been beaten. It's still an ongoing war. And a lot of us are scared. However they pronounce it, the younger people, scared or however. You know what I mean. I'm going to be quiet.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Very well said. Thank you so much. That was rich. Yeah, that's it. We're scared. We're scared, and we don't want to put ourselves out there. We don't want to take the risk of being wrong. We don't want to take the risk of failing. We don't want to take the risk of being wrong. We don't want to take the risk of failing.
But isn't that
And
what
we
we're
don't
doing
really
every
even
day when we don't do
believe,
anything?
huh?
But isn't that what we're doing anyway when we're not doing anything? I'm talking about that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, in a big way. In a big way, we're failing.
Because
But
it's like you say, it's only one of you. You know what I'm saying?
right,
If you had 500,000 of you in that spot, things would happen like that.
right. They sure will. If I could just, I mean, If I could just get 4 people that would move in the way they should move and think in the way they should think alongside myself, man, talk about getting traction.
We're waking up. There's attraction is out there. It's out there. The younger
Mm,
people and the older ones, older than us, are waking up because the story does not make sense. How in the
mm.
hell can you come across the Atlantic Ocean? And Carrie, your video has really, for the longest, has really reached a lot of people. I know a lot of people have. I don't want to say piggyback, but I'm saying it. You made people think, man. It is impossible. There's no such thing as a cargo or a ship 1600. It's ridiculous. And how you laid it down, I'm not holding it. I got my own to hold. But I'm just saying that video made me think years back. No, it don't make sense. How much water, food, and these white people taking the chance to come across a hurricane ocean to bring some niggas
Mhm,
is
mhm,
just stupid. We think,
mhm.
but we just leave it alone, bypass us. It's just stupidity. Oh well, I said what I had to say. Lisa, I love you. You know that in a respectful way.
I love you too. You know that. I
Kerry,
really
keep
do.
doing your thing, brother.
Cool,
Y'all
man.
stay peaceful. I'm
All
out of
right,
here.
brother. All right, we're gonna check with you.
Thank
All right.
you.
So you see, like the brother sees it. This stuff is right in front of our face.
Hmm.
We have no excuse. We have no excuse for
Right.
lying, for bullshitting each other, for trying to be something we not,
Right.
for supporting other people when they don't support you.
Right. Right. And also not and also we have to do better. We just have to do better. We have to give better. We have to do better. We have to we have to be more generous. We have to be more humble. We have to be more um understanding and forgiving. And that is going to require that we change. Hello.
Hello. I'm sorry that I might have come on a little late.
Oh,
Okay.
it's
Well,
not late. Go ahead.
Well, I'm hoping everyone's having a good night tonight.
that's a wonderful night. What brings you here? What did you want to add to the conversation?
Well, I was wanting to add a couple things, but I'm finding it a quite interesting conversation without me even here. I just wanted to say that you are both doing quite well tonight. It's quite fascinating to listen to this actually.
Very good.
What
What do
is it
you
that we're
find
saying?
fascinating?
Well, I find that in most media, I cannot find anyone who's really speaking truth. But I find that truth is spoken here more often than it's spoken pretty much anywhere else I can find.
That's
So
very
what are you hearing that's interesting, that interests you?
Well, I think that people, by and large, are afraid to speak their minds. And I think that you do it better than I see on mainstream news.
Well, when you're reading the script, man, you always gonna get that fake stuff because you're reading somebody else's words. So that
I,
means
yeah, this is how I feel, and I think that mainstream media is a thing of the past, and I think that shows like this are truly the future.
I think the same way.
Well, how long are people supposed to listen to these mainstream media types and truly believe that they're getting the right scoop?
They're not. They're not supposed to. You just gonna have to let it play out because you see it, I see it, a lot of people see it. So it's just gonna run out when everybody realize that they look like an ass watching it.
Well, I just do not understand why, after all these years of media manipulating people, lies being told by these giant corporations, why do people still follow these liars? I just do not understand it.
Because people don't want to think. They really don't. They just want to be told. They want to be told what to believe and what to think. They don't want to do it. They're extremely lazy. They actually want to be controlled. They don't want to actually have any control over their lives. They just want to be told what to do and be oblivious, and they find that to be enjoyable. They
That
actually like it.
that's pretty much the point I've arrived at myself. Is that people are willing to support and vote for these politicians that clearly despise them. And what are we supposed to do? How can you wake up these people that think that these politicians have their best interest in mind when clearly they hate them? And
Well,
it's
maybe they'll get murdered and it won't matter anymore because they'll thin the herd of all the dumb people and leave people that have some intelligence. And that's just going to change everything because that's the only thing I can see because they're just not smart enough. If they're not smart enough to figure this out, and they've got these people that who are actively murdering them, and they don't see it, then maybe they're just gonna disappear.
when's the last time you voted?
Vote.
Have
Really?
yeah, well, how have you voted in any recent elections?
I've never voted.
Well, you're smarter than I am. I'll say that much because I have voted
Hey,
and
hey,
I
hey, hey, let me ask you a question. So if they vote in Virginia and they still voting in California 3 hours after the polls are closed in Virginia and they still voting in California, you don't think they could skew the numbers or mess with the count or nothing like that?
well, I completely agree with this. The last time I voted was over a decade ago now, and I've been quite disillusioned by politics at large because I've seen that it's all a sham. It's all convoluted bullshit. Do you recall uh, when it was, I believe, in early 2008 or maybe late 2008? I forget the exact year. It was 2008, 2009, when Barack Obama won the election, and he was quickly declared to be a Nobel Peace Prize laureate.
I don't remember that. But I'm
I
sure.
I was blown away by, in the course of, I think it was about a year, that Obama declared that there was to be a troop surge in Afghanistan. And this was within the same year that he received the Nobel Peace Prize, and in within 1 year he declared a massive military incursion into Afghanistan of over 20,000 troops. And I felt like I was living in the Twilight Zone at that point.
I,
He did a lot to destroy this country, and a lot was done to manipulate the Negroes to get him in place um, in this country, including having people march to Gina, Louisiana, which I actually unfortunately partook of that event.
Well,
Um,
don't sell yourself short. I was conned by Obama as well. I believe
well,
that
I
we
didn't
were
vote for him actually, but
well.
I did.
Again, you're
But I
smarter than
did.
I am.
But I was a part of that whole energy that got people galvanized into voting for him.
This is the whole thing: is that democracy is clearly a farce. They convinced people that Obama was really going to change things, and then what do you know? He's the biggest plant of the military-industrial complex possibly we've seen in our lifetimes, other than in Bush.
Oh yeah, that's his cousin, right?
Yeah.
So
Oh,
these are all the same people. They're all of the same bloodline. These people are not elected; they're selected. You know, we
what
get
did
all
what?
riled up. They use our energy to fuel whatever freaking spells or whatever kind of like conjuring that they are up to do the magic that they're trying to wield on the world. And we fall for this. We fall for this. Nobody's elect. This is families. These people are of the same background.
Did you ever hear about that? He was a 13-year-old child. I think he was a high school, maybe not even a high school student. I believe he was a public school student. He had actually researched and gone into and delved into all the histories of all the different presidents in the entire United States history, and he discovered that every single president, bar one, were actually descendant of one British king.
Yeah.
And I'll let you guess as to which president. He has a funny name that's different than all the other presidents' names, and he's the only one that wasn't a descendant of this British king.
Yeah, the one that people want to vilify the most is the one that's not doesn't have that lineage. The one that
Ah,
people, I mean, and it's really crazy because
it's a trick question. It's a trick question.
okay, who is it?
His name was Martin Van Buren.
Oh, that early one.
He was the only
I thought Trump
president.
was. I thought Trump was not either.
This might have not applied to Trump because this was back during the Obama presidency,
Right.
but Martin Van Buren is the only president that is not a direct descendant of a British royal king. I'm
I think
pretty
Trump
sure.
is either.
I'm not sure that Trump is, but I know that the only one at the time of the Barack Obama presidency in 2013, that Martin Van Buren, who was Dutch, his native language was Dutch. He was the only one that wasn't a direct relation of a British king. So it's almost like there's a royal line of succession or a royal oligarchy that
Oh, it
exact.
is. It is. Yeah, it definitely is. And these same people, and that's what people don't understand. Like I always say this, you are your ancestors literally. Like these people do not go away. They're in you. And so when people act like, "Oh, it wasn't me. I wasn't around there." Yes, you friggin' were because you are them. So it's like we really can't disconnect ourselves from the past. To do that would say we don't exist. And these people know it better than we understand it because they're more connected to their ancestors in the past than we ever have been. We just
Mr.
don't know that.
Mr. Jones, we appreciate your call. We got other callers on. Man, call back. Don't be no
Oh,
stranger, right?
okay. Well, I'll drop off. It was nice talking to you. I'm a long time listener, actually, but I'm glad to have finally spoken to you.
Okay, thanks. Don't be no stranger.
Okay, well, have a good night, everyone.
All right, peace.
Good night. Thank you.
So I'm opening up the phone line to get the intelligent thought. It's open up for y'all, man. So, Lisa, I think we're gonna bring this into an end now because you know I got to get up in the morning. Let's get this last one.
I'm
JT
giggling
Smith.
over here because wait a minute. Oh, okay, somebody's here.
JT Smith, what's going on, brother?
Yo, what's up, brother? How you doing?
Oh, everything is fine.
Oh yeah, man. Well, hey, you know I'm a long time listener, long time supporter. And I was just watching television, right? And you know, it always stood in my mind when you like the gentleman brought it up when you talked about navigating those waters in those wooden sailboats, right? So I was watching The Deadliest Catch, and I saw one of those ships that was metal, had all different types of technology on it, and it sank. And at that very moment, I realized, I mean, I knew it, I believed what you were saying, but to have that visual and to see how rough the waters were, and this is on this ship they had booms with weights on it to keep the ship from tipping over. I mean, all of this was there, and that ship still sank. And so,
Okay. So you know how you just figure it out yourself, right? We have this built-in mechanism on us called an imagination. We can imagine things. We can literally think what we want to happen. We can actually do that. So you have an imagination. And so you take everything that you've always learned. So let's say you've been taught that the earth is a globe and it spins around and it goes around. So if you take in that story into account what they say, and you realize that you have an earth that's split in half by the equator, and if the ships are coming out of the equator, because if you look at where the ships came from out of Africa, you would see it came right there off the equator. Imagine, and if the earth tips at a 6-degree angle or 10-degree angle, what it's doing as it's spinning around, imagine the waves. It's kind of like you're a kid when you're a kid and you're in the bathtub and you swinging back and forth so you can make waves in the bathtub. That's exactly what the earth is doing. None of our scholars bought that into they didn't bring that up. They didn't bring these people are urinating and boo-booing on each other. How are they surviving? A nurse would tell you that's impossible. None of these scholars and these African geniuses brought that to our attention. All these people that were taken out of Africa, wouldn't it mess up their population number if all their young people were taken and brought over here? That's one of the most populous places on the earth. These are things we don't think about.
yeah, and you can I point out one thing on that point you just made about Africa? Now, this is just me. If a white man came to my country and stole my kinsmen and took them somewhere, there's no way that I would want to then go to that same country where the white people took my people to and then subjugate my people. So the story just doesn't add up. And wow, brother, I'm just saying, I believe in what you were saying. I follow the show. I believed it. But when I saw that water, like you were just explaining the illustration with the bathtub, that sealed the deal for me because it's impossible. So everything that they've said up until this point, it's now up for question.
Yeah. I mean, everything they say, period, is up for question because it's to keep you mentally locked down. You really look. You would have to say, if you were a thinking person, that the indigenous people in America, they're the majority of people. Where do you go where the indigenous people are not the minority? We don't think we're indigenous. We think we're Greek, Hebrew, blah, 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 Christian, all this stuff. And it separates us from ourselves, with it, which are the indigenous people. Everybody in the world knows. Africans say, how can you guys believe that story? And we just keep going right along with it.
Yeah, I listen.
And so, brother, what I would say to you is keep on thinking, brother, because you got a lot of stuff. It's like the sister was saying earlier, find your family, find where your people are from, find who those people are, because those people are very important, to the making up of America. Your people are some of those people. But if you
Most
don't believe,
importantly, those people are you. When you find your ancestors, you find yourself, man, because they're inside of you.
Absolutely. And I just like to say before I go, I mean, this has been a great show. What I've done was been listening to you guys, Phoenix Moon, uh, what's my man name? Man, but y'all know him. He's good. He's on there all the time. I can't remember his name. Good guy.
Rick
But
Moon, Rick Moon.
yeah, Rick Moon. Yeah. There you go. But listening to you guys, it made me ask questions. I used to be an investigator, so I was really interested in the story that you guys were telling because I've never heard it before. And then when I began to investigate, I realized that okay, well, I do remember my great grandmother. My grandmother raised me, so we lived also with our great grandmother when she got a little older. And she used to always say her hair was down to her butt. She used to keep it in long braids. And she used to always say she's an Indian. But my cousins used to say, man, grandmama don't know what she's talking about. And so what I did was, again, I went back and I started at Martin Luther King. And I recognized that he failed. And when I went to the the bill that Martin Luther King fought for, the Civil Rights Act and the Voting Rights Act, specifically the Civil Rights Act of 1968, when you look at the nicknames of it, it has the Indian Civil Rights Act and the Indian Fair Housing Act. So again, these introduce more questions, and what that led me to do was to really go back and find out the history of my grandmother. And so going back to Martin Luther King, he was not able to desegregate my town because the Indians there were refusing to say that they were black. They were refusing to go along with the "we shall overcome" and the fight thing. I mean the nonviolence thing. So listening to you guys led me to uncover this stuff, man. And so I know so many people that also agree with what you guys are saying. They just don't have the guts to stand up and to say something. So I just want to give you guys your flowers. I appreciate you. Thank you for bringing me up. And hey, if I could be of any assistance, I'm Carrie. So if I could be of any assistance, if I can, kind of connect and try to build some bridges and help this think tank, if you will. Uh, I'll send you my info in a DM, and we go from there, brother, sister. I
thank you.
appreciate y'all. Good show.
Thank you, brother. And
Thank
that's all
you.
African, and that's all African American is about anyway. To just to look at what they're saying. And if you just fall for it, it's like with this COVID stuff. They can just tell you anything and you just go with it. I mean, damn, we better than that, right? I mean, they can tell you anything and we just go with it.
They can
That's not.
tell you you must take something, and you believe that you must take it. Like they're your daddy, like they're your God. Like their life, your life belongs to them. You actually believe it. You actually believe that. Come on now.
And so, and this is what I'm saying. You got to think of, you got to think about it. Anytime somebody says something to you, before you open your yap, think about it. Think about what they're saying to you. Think about how come Jesus had a mama, but Adam didn't. Think about it.
Word.
Question. And if you ask yourself, that's all you got. I mean, that's the confidence that Lisa was talking about. We don't have no confidence in our abilities to think. We can't even figure out nothing. We're waiting for somebody else to come tell us. That's all the African American does. They don't think for themselves. They wait for boss to tell them, right or wrong. Think about it. You have a brain. It functions. It works like anybody else's. You have discernment. It functions like everybody else's. You know the difference between right and wrong. Your mama taught you that. Remember? You know the difference. What do you say? That's what I always say. What do you say? How do you see it? And we don't see it unless boss tell us to look at it that way. Right, wrong. So that's all I'm saying. So brother, I'm glad. I'm ecstatic that it got you looking at things with certain ways, because I know you sound like a younger brother in your 20s or 30s, but I know they just go with anything. I mean, you see the situation we in because nobody's talking about it, because I don't think we want to talk about it. You see all these immigrants coming over here. You see all these immigrants over here, how that's going to affect us. All these people moving over here, how is that going to affect us? When we're virtually, I mean, seriously, in these schools, we're virtually retarded. We don't know anything. These people come into your home and you can't offer nothing. And you cool with it. You walk around with your chest in the air. You walk around with a Fendi bag. So, brother, listen, I really, really appreciate you learning, picking up stuff and learning. That's what I say. You have an imagination. What did your people do? What were they offering the world before the war went on? What were they doing? What were they sending up and down these rivers? What was the natural resources from where your folks come from? That's why she's saying stop with all the generic terms. Cherokee goes up to Rhode Island, go over to Texas. That's not, it's like she said, it's an umbrella term. Go dig. And it's not hard. This stuff is right at your fingertips. So, Lisa, we're going to go ahead and bring it to a close now. Can't you tell us a little bit about the summit that's coming up in a couple of months?
Okay. All right. So, in a very short time now, the Indigenous American Indian Council Summit is happening on the Eastern Shore of Virginia, the homeland and the former reservation land of the Accomack Indians, on October 9th through October, what is it, 12th or 10th or 11th rather. And we're actually, October 9th is not really for the public, but actually 10th and 11th is for the public. That's a summit. October 9th, we're having a reunion of the Accomacs and the Eastern Shore, where we can get ourselves together and get some, give the people that need the understanding and the understanding and the information they seek, and just kind of commune as a family. That's what we're about to do. Um, and on the summit days, the Sunday and the Monday, which is Indigenous People Day, we are going to actually gather as the Indigenous people we are have people that we actually, have followed on YouTube and, various outlets, Facebook, Instagram for years, including, including Carrie. There'll be Tasha She. There'll be Johnny Aborigine. There'll be Bones McCoy, Chief Cali, um, Gabriel Rick Moon, um, and many others that a lot of people are going to be showing up. I can't put their name out there, but a lot of people will be there, which that you'll find to be enlightening and informative. We'll have panels where these people will speak and share information with you. You can ask them questions. You'll be able to see a lot of my artifacts that I have, very old books, a lot of poster boards, information. Um, We'll have music, we'll have food vendors, people vending all kinds of products. Celestine will be selling her wonderful wares, jewelry, all kinds of creams and things that she actually, makes available to us. Um, in addition, we've got several people will be selling crystals, tobacco, shirts, just all kinds of things, headdresses. It's going to be a lot for you to experience. Oh, I also forgot, we're going to have a brother, a brother that is a handler of falcons. So he actually has he handles flying falcons. We used to use them as messengers, and to have a indigenous person that's actually doing that, that's going to be fly in a real way. And then we're also going to have a wonderful Miss Battle, the wonderful bow expert, the archerist. She's also a master gun handler, a rifle woman. She's also a survivalist, so she's going to have a lot of information for you guys to to take in about really getting back to nature and surviving. We also have and she'll let you use the bow and arrow and practice, target practice. In addition to that, we're going to have someone who is a stilt walker to kind of entertain the young folk and kind of like get back to even older day when we used to actually try to mimic our giant omic former selves. That's going to be kind of fly too. So there's going to be a lot of things for your eyes, your ears, information, keep the kids or the whole family entertained. That's just one day. That's just day one. Day two, we're going to be going on tours. We're going to work on some genealogy first. Then we're going to get out and about and get to look at the actual like historic, what to look for when you're in your hometown, and what our history actually looks like in real life, living color. And we're going to be walking through it, talking about it, feeling it in a real way. So it's going to be quite the experience when we do that. So um, I look forward to it. I'm sure you will too. So it's on the it's on Eventbrite, and you just have to look for us on Eventbrite. Information about hotels are on there. There's a link that tells you all about not just hotels, but there's a link that will lead you to also some Airbnbs that are available there too. So get yourself ready. It's October 10th and 11th. It's on the water. So if you are a person that likes water activities, whether it's fishing or whatever have you, there's a lot of nature, both on the water and on land. There's a lot of deer, and I believe that's during deer hunting season. I was told that people that are interested, this is you can come and be prepared to do that. So, you know, it's a real experience, something that you're going to be living and experiencing the real history of real people that are, actually resurrecting our own history.
Well, thanks, Lisa. Well, two things I want to talk about. What she said about what she talked about. She talked about the brother who has the falcon. So this is a good time to get back in touch. Communicate with the animals. Like she said, we were sending them out to take messages to somebody else somewhere else, probably in another state somewhere. And so this is a chance to learn about the connection we lost with the animal world.
Hmm.
And also you got a whole bunch of insects around here too that these things can be trained to do things. And evidently, we were using them for more than what we're using for. Now we're scared of it. So this is a good time to see a brother with falcons. What is it like to work with those falcons? What is it like communicating with them? And then another thing, now everybody knows I'm from Los Angeles, right? When you go down to Virginia, when you see how these slaves were living, the next time you buy a house, you gonna rethink that shit. They wasn't living like that. They was living large. So find your people, y'all. Find them. They're calling your name. Can't you hear them? Listen, Lisa, thank you. And we're gonna see you next week, okay?
Yes, thank you. Appreciate you, Carrie, as always. You guys,
All right.
thank you. Thank everybody in the chat. I appreciate you. I did see your comments. I'm on my phone, so I'm not able to respond, but I did see. Thank you very much. I appreciate you all. You're the best. Keep being the best.
Keep being forever wonderful. Have a good night. Peace.